less stressed, I suppose is probably the best word. I have more time to do things and I'm able to be involved in more bits, which for me is fantastic. Time's always an issue, and working lots of hours, the amount of hours had just become the norm. The problem with so many hours as well was they wasn't always used constructively, because as soon as you find 5 minutes spare at home, you're replying back to emails or doing a bit of work rather than actually relaxing, having 5 minutes with the family. I was very anti-business coach. A lot that I'd come across previously were people that were, let's make you £1 million, but they had no history of actually achieving it themselves. Then you speak to ActionCOACH and they've got coaches that have actually been there, got the t-shirt, and they're talking from experience. It's that sounding board. Sometimes when you're running a business and you're the only person in that business, it's difficult to know where to have those conversations, like having someone sat alongside you in your business where you can put certain ideas across to him and he'll be honest and come back and go, yeah, that's a good idea, or maybe we'll think about a slightly different venture rather than doing that. And it's nice to have that sounding board. So one of my initial plans with Billy was to grow the business. I had an idea that I'd like to open a second office. Now that was a 18-month plan. Within 6 months of working with Billy, that second office was moving forwards, and on the 1st of September we did open that office. So he's definitely aligned my ideas I had, and they've happened quicker than what they would have if I hadn't been using him. It does feel like you're at school some weeks, that you need to make sure you've done your homework, but that's a good thing because it's making sure I'm accountable for what I've said. Right, next week I'm going to do this. I need to make sure I've done it, rather than if I wasn't accountable to someone else. As I said, running my own business, it normally falls on me. Oh, that can wait till 2 weeks later. And before you know it, you've got 3 months down the line and not done any emotions that you wanted to do to move forwards. I suppose from my point of view, they are able to see things differently. They're not involved in the day-to-day, seeing the wood for the trees. They're able to look outside and go, why are you doing this way? Or why don't you try it a different way? And even then, using ActionCOACH, they're not necessarily saying, oh, you have to do it this way. They get me to think about why I need to do it differently, and the suggestions are coming from myself. My team's turned around to me as well, and they've noticed a big difference on how I'm able to empower them more, because it's making me think differently about what I can get them to do for me, rather than previously I was very much, I wanted to hold all the cards, and I understand now that actually me holding all the cards was stifling the business rather than passing it around and everybody helping each other. Definitely within the first 3 months of working with Billy, there was notable changes that we've put into place to make sure that where I had set certain goals for the business to achieve, that was being relayed to everybody else, so they knew what was expected from them. We've increased our turnover by just over 15%. Profitability has gone, it's about, well, not about, it is 22% now. So it's increased quite significantly. It's getting there. It's definitely improved to where it was, but I now make sure that for example, on a Sunday, there is no work done at all on a Sunday, whereas previously it would have been maybe only a couple of hours. So yes, it's definitely getting there, but there is a plan to continue that as well. But from my experience, I definitely felt I was very much unaligned, and having sat down and had a full conversation, I found out actually there are coaches out there that can align and help you out massively.